Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Here's the first carry now for Frank Gore. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Let's go. Now back to throw. Steps away to his left. Going deep here for Still. He rifles one that's intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. He was looking that time for Stills. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the free safety, Eric Berry.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield. It gets intercepted.
He finds Randall Cobb with a completion. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A very solid gain of 27.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Back to the ground, this time with Gore. And he'll get it across midfield and down into Cardinal territory. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up.
He's got it at the 15. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
When the spotlight is at its brightest, and let's face it, it's the Super Bowl, those types of plays come out, don't they?
Absolutely. A big-time catch on the biggest of stages.
Do you think that one's going to live on? We're going to see this for a long time.
And this is caught by Parker for a Miami touchdown. With a first touchdown of Super Bowl 53. And the Dolphins are going to take a first quarter lead. Bouncing back nicely from that bad opening drive where he threw the interception. Drive number 2 leads him right down the field and into the end zone.
So obviously his confidence was never lost, and that's a good thing to see. Great quality to have, and you absolutely must maintain that as a quarterback. But I have to think that they're probably still on the script that they prepared for this game. Just the second drive. They've worked on these plays all week in practice. Put them to good use on that one.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Give him 25 yards on the play there. And now it's 1st, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. On 1st and 10, Murray. And he is going to be run down. What a disaster there. A huge loss.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole. And a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's second and a country mile. And he drops this off to Thompson, complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg. It's caught inside the 25. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A really good pickup of 28 yards. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 24. Operating from the gun. Murray finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll make it a second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is in for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great effort there. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Cardinals are just an extra point away from tying this game. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So now here come the Dolphins. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll begin the drive with Sproles. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to throw deep right. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 36 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. It's complete. It's Sproles. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this is caught by Parker for a Miami touchdown. Devontae Parker, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Dolphins are in for 6. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be second down. From the gun, Murray fighting, lost the football, and the Dolphins have got it.
Well, Carter, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Allen's got it over the middle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Back to throw now on first down. Stepping up, he'll try and run. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
A dump off to Sproles. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. When you throw it this close to the goal line, usually you're thinking touchdown. Here they actually complete it but lose yardage.
When you're this close to the goal line, you have to anticipate that maybe you're going to see a defense that you can make a case that there's 11 in the box. There's just no room. So I'm with you. You've got to find a way to push things downfield a little bit. Any type of space is better than what we just saw there. And that end result, not one that's satisfactory to them.
Call that a loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
Room here to run. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Cardinals. In for the score. And the Cardinals have cut it to within a score.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules. And if you do, you're taking on some responsibility. But he was happy to do so there.
They'll start out on the ground with Sproles. Sproles lost the football, but I think a Dolphin was able to fall on it. Yes, they'll keep possession here.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. The Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11.
I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line. In pregame, get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. Well, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
And a nice gain at 21 yards. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage, so as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to...
No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. But I think a Dolphin was able to fall on it. Yes, they'll keep possession here.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. Now it brings up third down.
The name of the game, as always on defense, put pressure on the quarterback. And that's exactly what they've done today. It looks like they've got him a little bit rattled. That would have been the second interception in the first half.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. Now Justin Tucker's out to try the field goal. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Throwing on first down. Murray. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
Here's Murray. Flushed out right. Now he'll throw deep left side. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
These two offenses have gone up and down the field so far in the first half. Finally, I say, here's a stop on third down.
Now Sproles. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they've got to make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. From the 34 now, here's first and 10. On the handoff, it's Gore. And he'll get this up to about the 40. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. Randall Cobb, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and 4.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They're going to look to throw. Looks for Parker, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And a potential turning point as they get the football in very good field position late in this first half. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. Now, before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Murray is going to flip one out here to his running back. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. On 1st down, Murray. Crabtree with it over the middle. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. A bit of a surprise. They're going for it with 2 ticks remaining. No sign of the field goal unit. A final shot before break. Murray flushed it, and he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we've come upon halftime here in Super Bowl 53. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. So a nice spin. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket. Open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. They'll run it now. Out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Detroit! All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Operating from the gun. Murray. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right? And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
And that's why defenders are often frustrated offensive guys. Actually made the catch, looked good doing it, but couldn't get his feet down in order to finish off the takeaway.
They're going to try and throw. Going up top. And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on 4th down, this is a big call. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
Murray now. Murray fighting. Lost the football. I'll call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Back to throw. Murray escaping the pressure right. Airing one deep for Crabtree. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
You know they wanted, you know they expected. They needed him to be sharp coming out after the half. Unfortunately, he's missed his first 3 throws. I wonder if he got out late and missed his warm-up time.
The whole team did come out a little bit later than usual. I don't know, maybe there's something to that.
Must have been a heck of a halftime speech.
Yeah, maybe just trying to rally the troops back from this deficit. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashad Jones. They were looking for Johnson that time. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. On the crossing route, complete. That's Parker. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A really nice gain of 25 yards. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Now a handoff for Gore. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away. That's a good start for him.
Looking to throw. Caught left side by Kyle. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's second and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
They'll look to throw here. Forced out to his left. Goes underneath for Sproles. And he loses the football a second time. And the Cardinals have got it going the other way. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Eluding the pressure right. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down. So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Throwing again on second and 10. Murray throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. On 1st and 10, Murray finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Michael Crabtree, the intended receiver, 3rd down here.
I think someone's going to get into QB1's ear when he gets to the sideline. Already thrown an interception. That one should have been picked. Look, let's just be honest about it. That'd be the second person in his ear because he's hearing it in the huddle right now.
Not the start to the game he wanted. Like you said, the pick on the opening drive, second drive, not much better. He gets away from, and he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And the kick by Gonzalez, he was good. And that cuts the lead down to just 3, 20-17. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive, capture the field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by DJ Swearinger. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. Stills the intended target.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football, we're not seeing it right now.
Throwing to start the drive. Murray. And it's knocked away and incomplete. He was trying to get it to Michael Crabtree there. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And it's incomplete, almost intercepted. He had a great shot at picking that off in the end zone. It brings up 4th down. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Robert Alford. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And he is finally out of bounds, but not before taking it down inside the 30. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you.
Detroit! Detroit! No. Check. Patriot! Patriot!
Throwing on first down. Murray escaping the pressure right. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
How many times have we seen this late in the fourth quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
Gun! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gun!
On first down, Murray. And this would have been intercepted if he could have gotten the feet in. Instead, it's incomplete. Boy, that really could have turned this one upside down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
All right, here we go.
Throwing again. Murray. Oh, no, he lost the football. But I think
it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
throwing on 3rd and long. Murray. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the free safety, Eric Berry. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas. But they
a little bit too greedy with the opportunity to put points on the board, but give credit to the guys on the defensive side. Hung in there, battled, and made a key play.
And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Now that's a run that warms a play caller's heart because you're actually set up to do whatever you want on offense. You can come right back and run essentially the same play because you have momentum. Or you can fake that running play and throw something deep over the top. Or you now feel like you have an extra down to play with. Because if you go ahead and just throw it and you don't get it, you come back and try and pick it up on 3rd down.
And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And it's caught by Parker. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He gets it over the middle to Cobbs. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision. And receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Got some real estate inside the 30. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Come on, let's go!
Back to throw. Being chased out left. On the left side, this is Stills. Nice gain of 8 that time, but it's 2nd and goal. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
He'll get it up the middle, and he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Darren And Sproles taking it in. And the Dolphins have broken. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out on.